Success doesn't happen by chance. It's the result of consistent daily actions. And if you're waiting for the perfect time or the right moment, let me tell you something, that moment doesn't exist. The key to success is consistency, not talent. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about making the most of the moment you have. The truth is, every day you wait is the day you lose. Every excuse you make holds you back. The people who achieve success aren't the ones who wait for things to line up perfectly. They're the ones who take action no matter what, even when the conditions aren't ideal. They understand that progress doesn't require perfection, it requires persistence. In this video, we're diving into how you can stop wasting time waiting for something to happen and start taking control of your life today. It's about making progress, no matter how small, and understanding that every little step forward adds up to something big over time. If you're ready to stop making excuses and take real action, stay with me, because today's the day you change the way you approach success. Let's get started. Number 1, discipline and consistency will always outperform talent and luck. Success is not about being lucky. It's not about being the most talented person in the room. It's about discipline, it's about consistency. Because no matter how much talent you have, no matter how lucky you get, if you don't have discipline, if you don't stay consistent, you will never reach the highest levels of success. Look around. You've seen it before. Someone with incredible talent, but they never put in the work. They start something and after a few weeks they stop. They get excited, but then they lose focus. And what happens? Someone else, someone who may not be as gifted, someone who may not have all the natural abilities, keeps showing up, keeps doing the work, keeps improving little by little, and over time that person, the one with discipline and consistency, surpasses the one with talent. Because talent without effort is wasted potential. But discipline and consistency, that's where real results come from. If you want to change your life, if you want to be successful, you must understand that success isn't about one big moment. It's not about some overnight breakthrough. It's about what you do every single day. It's about the choices you make, the habits you build, the effort you put in when nobody is watching. Every time you show up, every time you push yourself when you don't feel like it, you're building something that most people never build, mental toughness. And mental toughness will take you further than talent ever could. Some people are waiting for motivation to strike. They say, I'll start when I feel ready. But the truth is, motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Some days you'll feel inspired, and some days you won't. And if you only take action when you feel like it, you'll never be consistent enough to see real progress. That's why discipline is so important. Discipline is doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is waking up and sticking to your plan even when you're tired, even when it's hard, even when nobody is clapping for you. Think about this. Every day you have a choice. You can stay the same or you can get better. And the difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't luck, isn't talent. It's the simple decision to keep going, to do the work, to stay committed. When you wake up, you either decide to make progress or you decide to stay in the same place. And every time you skip a day, every time you push things off until later, you're making a decision to stay where you are. And let me tell you, the cost of staying the same is far greater than the effort it takes to improve. The people who win, the ones who achieve incredible things, they don't make excuses. They don't negotiate with themselves. They don't say, I'll start tomorrow. They don't wait for things to be perfect. They just get up and do the work. They don't look for shortcuts because they know shortcuts don't last. What lasts is consistency. What lasts is showing up every single day, improving by just a little bit, and letting those small daily efforts compound over time. Because success isn't about doing something once. It's about doing it over and over until it becomes a part of who you are. Maybe you're someone who has struggled with staying consistent. Maybe you've started things in the past but never finished. Maybe you've felt like you're not talented enough, not lucky enough. But let me tell you something, none of that matters if you commit to showing up every single day and putting in the work. You don't need to be the most talented person in the room. You just need to be the most consistent. Because consistency beats intensity. It's better to be good every day than to be great once in a while. Let's say you want to get in shape. The talented person might go to the gym for 1 month, work out hard, and then quit. But the disciplined person, the consistent person, may not train as intensely, but they keep going. Day after day, month after month, year after year. And in the long run, the consistent person wins because they didn't stop, because they didn't rely on bursts of motivation. They relied on discipline. And that's how real results are built. And here's something important. If you don't build discipline in the small things, you won't have it in the big things. How you do anything is how you do everything. If you can't keep a small promise to yourself, how will you keep the big ones? If you can't stick to a simple routine, how will you handle the challenges of success? Discipline is a muscle, and just like any muscle, it grows stronger the more you use it. Every time you push yourself, every time you stay committed, you're training yourself to be stronger, to be better, to be the kind of person who follows through. Some people say, but I don't see results fast enough. And that's the problem. Most people want instant results. They want to work hard for a few weeks and see a massive change. And when they don't, they quit. But progress doesn't work that way. Success doesn't work that way. The results come to those who stick with it long enough. And most people quit too soon. They give up right before the breakthrough, right before everything starts to come together. And that's why you need to stay consistent. Because if you keep going, if you refuse to quit, one day you'll look back and realize how far you've come. The truth is, success is simple, but it's not easy. The formula is right in front of you. Be disciplined, be consistent, and keep going. But most people won't do it. They'll find excuses. They'll blame their circumstances. They'll wait for motivation. But not you. You're here because you're ready to take control. You're ready to stop waiting, stop making excuses, and start building real progress. And if you do that, if you commit to showing up every day, pushing yourself and staying consistent no matter what, there is no limit to what you can achieve. So start today, not tomorrow, not next week, today. Make the decision that from this moment forward, you will be disciplined, you will be consistent, and you will not stop until you get where you want to be. Because talent will fade, luck will run out, but discipline, that will carry you to the top. And once you build it, nothing can take it away from you. Number 2, progress requires urgency. Waiting for the right time is a lie. Progress requires urgency. That's the truth. Most people are stuck in life not because they lack talent, not because they don't have potential, but because they are waiting for the right time, waiting for the perfect opportunity, waiting until they feel ready. But let me tell you something, the right time is a lie. It's an illusion that keeps people stuck in the same place for years. If you want to move forward, if you want to change your life, you have to act now. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel motivated, now. Because every day you delay is a day wasted. Every excuse you make is another reason you stay stuck. And the longer you wait, the harder it gets. That's the trap most people fall into. They convince themselves that someday things will be easier. Someday they'll have more time. Someday they'll feel more confident. But that someday never comes. It's just an excuse to avoid taking responsibility today. The truth is, progress doesn't wait for anyone. It moves forward with or without you. Life doesn't pause while you sit around thinking about what you should do. While you hesitate, while you second guess yourself, someone else is out there taking action. Someone else is building their future while you're still trying to decide if you're ready. And that's the harsh reality. Opportunities don't last forever. If you don't take them, someone else will. So many people look back on their lives with regret, not because of what they did, but because of what they didn't do. They remember the chances they didn't take, the dreams they never chased, the time they wasted waiting for everything to be perfect. But life is never perfect. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be fear. There will always be challenges. And if you wait for those things to disappear before you take action, you will never start. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who go after it, despite their fears, despite their doubts, despite not having all the answers. The people who make progress in life are the ones who decide that today is the day, not tomorrow, not next year, today. They stop overthinking. They stop making excuses. They stop waiting for motivation. They get to work. You see, action creates momentum. The hardest part of anything is just starting. Once you take that first step, everything else becomes easier. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to start. Because the moment you do, you'll realize that most of your fears were just in your head. Most of the things you were worried about never even happened. But you'll never know that if you don't move forward. And here's the truth. There's never going to be a perfect time. There will always be reasons to wait. There will always be things standing in your way. But you have to move forward anyway. The people who succeed in life are not the ones who had everything handed to them. They are the ones who took action despite their circumstances. They didn't wait for luck. They didn't wait for permission. They made things happen. That's the kind of urgency you need. You need to treat your goals like they matter, like your future depends on it. Because it does. Every day you delay is another day wasted. Every excuse you make is another opportunity lost. You have to decide, are you going to keep waiting or are you going to take control of your life? And let me tell you, once you start, everything changes. When you stop waiting and start acting, you build confidence, you build momentum, you start seeing progress. And that progress fuels you to keep going. But none of that happens if you keep making excuses. The world doesn't stop for you. Time doesn't wait for you. Either you take action now or you look back years from now wishing you had. The choice is yours. But remember this, every day you don't take action is a day you can never get back. So stop waiting. Start now. Number 3, action creates clarity. The more you do, the more you learn. Most people sit around waiting for the perfect plan. They overthink, analyze every little detail, and tell themselves they need to know everything before they start. But that's a trap. The truth is, you don't figure things out by thinking about them. You figure them out by doing them. Action creates clarity. The more you do, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the better you become. If you keep waiting until you feel completely ready, you will never start. No one starts with all the answers. No one begins their journey knowing exactly what to do. The most successful people in the world didn't have it all figured out when they took their first step. They learned as they went. They made mistakes, they adjusted, and they kept moving forward. That's how real progress happens. Most people get stuck because they let fear and doubt control them. They tell themselves, what if I fail? What if I make a mistake? What if I don't know enough? And because of these thoughts, they stay right where they are, waiting, planning, thinking, but never doing. And here's the reality. Those thoughts will never go away. You will always have doubts. You will always feel uncertain. But the only way to overcome that is to take action anyway. When you start doing something, you gain experience. And experience is the greatest teacher. Reading about something will never give you the same understanding as actually doing it. You can read 100 books about swimming, but if you never get in the water, you still won't know how to swim. You can plan for months about starting a business, but until you take that first step, you won't know what actually works and what doesn't. You can spend years thinking about getting in shape, but until you start exercising, you won't see results. Action reveals the truth. It shows you what works and what doesn't. It helps you understand what you need to change, what you need to improve, and what direction you should go. Every step you take gives you more information, more experience, and more confidence. But you will never get that clarity if you don't take the first step. And here's something you need to understand. Mistakes are not the enemy. Most people are afraid of failing, but failure is part of learning. The only real failure is doing nothing. When you take action, you might not get it right the first time. That's okay. Every mistake teaches you something. Every setback gives you a lesson. And the faster you make mistakes, the faster you learn. That's why the people who take action always move ahead of the ones who just sit and think. The biggest lie people tell themselves is that they need the perfect plan before they start. But there is no perfect plan. The only way to get better is to start where you are with what you have. Clarity comes from action, not from thinking. The more you do, the more you see. The more you see, the more you understand. And the more you understand, the faster you grow. You don't need permission to start. You don't need to have everything figured out. All you need is the courage to take that first step. Because once you do, everything changes. Your fears begin to fade. Your doubts become smaller. You realize that most of the things you were worried about weren't even real. But you'll never know that if you don't take action. So stop waiting. Stop overthinking. Stop trying to make everything perfect before you begin. Take action today. Because the more you do, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the closer you get to the life you want. Number 4, your greatest enemy is comfort. Push beyond it. The biggest obstacle in your life is not what you think it is. It's not your circumstances. It's not your lack of resources. And it's definitely not your competition. Your greatest enemy is comfort. We live in a world that constantly encourages us to seek comfort, to take the easy path, to avoid challenges and risk. But here's the thing. Comfort doesn't lead to success. It leads to stagnation. It keeps you where you are, and it prevents you from reaching your full potential. If you want to grow, if you want to achieve something extraordinary, you have to push beyond comfort. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Most people don't realize this, but everything you want in life lies just beyond your comfort zone. Think about it. The things you want to achieve, the life you want to create, the person you want to become, it's all on the other side of fear, uncertainty, and discomfort. You can't get there by staying where you are. You can't reach your full potential if you're only doing what feels easy. The truth is, the more you stay in your comfort zone, the more you limit yourself, the more you avoid pushing yourself, the more you hold yourself back. We've all heard that phrase, if it's easy, it's not worth it. And that's true when it comes to success. If you're always taking the path of least resistance, you're never going to achieve anything extraordinary. The most successful people didn't get there by playing it safe. They got there by facing challenges, by pushing through discomfort, by taking risks, and by stepping into the unknown. They knew that to grow, they had to leave their comfort zone, and they did it time and time again. But here's the thing, it's easy to get comfortable. The world rewards comfort, it rewards routine, it rewards the status quo. And because of that, we often find ourselves staying in situations that don't serve us, in jobs that don't challenge us, in relationships that don't push us forward. We convince ourselves that everything is fine because it's familiar, but the moment you stop growing is the moment you start dying. Comfort may feel good in the short term, but it's poison in the long run. It kills your potential. It stifles your creativity. It limits your success. Now, I know what you're thinking, but change is hard. I don't want to take risks. I don't want to fail. And I get it, it's scary. The fear of the unknown is real. But let me ask you this, what's scarier? Taking the risk and failing, or staying where you are, stuck in the same place day after day, knowing that you're not living up to your potential? What's worse, the discomfort of trying something new, or the regret of never trying at all? The truth is, discomfort is temporary. It may feel hard in the moment, but it doesn't last forever. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, you grow a little stronger. Every time you face something that scares you, you build more resilience. Every time you push yourself, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you ever thought possible. And over time, that discomfort becomes easier to handle. You start to realize that the things you once feared, the things that once seemed impossible, are actually within your reach. When you push beyond comfort, you start to see what you're truly capable of. You start to tap into your potential in ways you never thought possible. And here's the kicker. Once you've experienced that growth, once you've felt the satisfaction of breaking through your limits, you'll never want to go back to living a comfortable life. Comfort becomes the enemy because you know that every time you choose comfort, you're choosing to stay small. You're choosing to settle for less than you're capable of. But it's not just about getting uncomfortable for the sake of it. It's about pushing yourself to become better, to become stronger, to become the best version of yourself. The truth is, the more you push through discomfort, the more you realize that the only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. There's nothing you can't do if you're willing to face the discomfort, the fear, and the uncertainty that comes with growth. And here's the beautiful thing about pushing beyond comfort. Once you've done it, once you've faced your fears, you become addicted to growth. You start craving the challenges. You start seeking out discomfort because you know that's where the magic happens. You start to understand that the more you push yourself, the more you grow, and the more you grow, the more you can achieve. And that's when your life starts to change. So let me be clear. The enemy is comfort. It's the easy way out. It's the path that leads to mediocrity. If you want something more, if you want to be something more, you have to push beyond it. You have to step into the unknown. You have to embrace discomfort as a sign of growth. It's time to stop letting comfort control your life. It's time to take risks. It's time to face your fears. It's time to do the hard things. Because here's the truth. Greatness doesn't come to those who play it safe. It doesn't come to those who choose the easy road. It comes to those who are willing to do what it takes, to push beyond their limits, to step into the discomfort, and to keep going even when it's tough. And if you're willing to do that, you'll achieve more than you ever thought possible. So stop letting comfort hold you back. Push beyond it and watch your life transform. Number 5, hard work becomes easier when you stop negotiating with yourself. Hard work becomes so much easier when you stop negotiating with yourself. I want you to really think about that. Every single time you have a task, an opportunity, or a goal in front of you, you have a choice. You either do the work or you don't. But what happens in the moments where you don't feel like it? What happens when you're faced with the challenge and your mind starts to talk you out of it? Maybe tomorrow would be a better time to start. I deserve a break. It's not that important. It's too hard. I'll just relax for now. These are the negotiations that we all go through, and these negotiations are what make hard work feel impossible. But if you stop negotiating with yourself, if you stop allowing those thoughts to control you, the work becomes not only manageable, but even easier. I want to break this down because the more you understand this, the more you will realize how much control you have over your own life. The challenge isn't the work itself. The challenge is the constant back and forth battle you have with your own mind. Every time you hesitate, every time you start to doubt yourself, you make the task feel bigger, more intimidating, and harder than it really is. The work itself doesn't change. What changes is the conversation you're having with yourself. And the sooner you can stop that negotiation, the sooner you'll see just how much easier hard work can become. When you're in the middle of working towards something, there's a part of your mind that's constantly trying to talk you out of it. It might be telling you that you're too tired, or that you don't know enough, or that the work isn't important enough to do right now. That's the moment where most people quit or take shortcuts. But when you stop negotiating, when you stop letting those thoughts run the show, you start to realize that the work itself is never as bad as your mind tries to make it out to be. It's only the hesitation, the overthinking, and the constant questioning that makes it feel overwhelming. When you make the decision to simply do the work, without entertaining the inner debate, it becomes a lot easier to get started and keep going. Think about it. How many times have you been in a situation where you needed to do something, but you kept putting it off? You kept negotiating, telling yourself you'd do it later, telling yourself it wasn't the right time, telling yourself you didn't feel like it. And then, when you finally get to it, it doesn't take as long as you thought. It's not as difficult as you imagined. In fact, it's often easier than you've been telling yourself. It's because the real struggle isn't the work, it's the resistance, the mental pushback that we create. When you stop negotiating with yourself, you cut that resistance down. You stop fighting against your own success. It's like lifting a weight. It feels heavy at first, but once you stop resisting, once you stop making excuses and overthinking, you can push through with ease. Hard work isn't hard if you're fully committed to doing it. The hardest part is always the mental struggle, but once you stop negotiating, once you stop giving yourself permission to back out, you build momentum. The work gets easier because you've made the decision to follow through, and that decision is more powerful than any excuse your mind can offer. Here's what you have to realize. The work is going to be there regardless. It's always going to be waiting for you. And every time you hesitate, every time you negotiate with yourself, you only prolong the inevitable. You put it off, you procrastinate, and you create unnecessary stress. But when you make a decision to stop negotiating with yourself, you simplify everything. You just get to work. You don't waste any time. You don't waste any energy debating whether or not you should do it. You stop giving in to the temptation of comfort, and instead, you create a routine of action that propels you forward. There's a power in making decisions and sticking to them. The more you commit to your goals without entertaining excuses, the stronger you become. You stop second-guessing yourself and you start moving with purpose. And here's the beautiful thing about that. When you take action consistently, the results start to show up. The more you act, the more clarity you gain. you start to see progress. And that progress keeps you going. It becomes a cycle of growth. Because the more you work, the easier the work becomes. I know it can be tempting to negotiate with yourself. We all feel that way at times. But I want you to start recognizing that those thoughts are just distractions. They're there to keep you stuck, to keep you from reaching your full potential. But you don't have to listen to them. You don't have to give in. You can choose to take action in spite of how you feel. You can choose to do the work even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like it, even when your mind is telling you to quit, because the truth is you'll never feel ready. There's no perfect time. There's no perfect mood. There's no magic moment when everything aligns and the work feels easy. The only way to make hard work feel easier is to stop negotiating with yourself. You stop looking for reasons not to do it. You stop finding excuses. You stop waiting for the right time or for the perfect conditions. You stop questioning your ability and you just do it. The more you commit to taking action, no matter how small, the more momentum you build. And that momentum is what carries you through the hard times. It's what helps you keep going when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when things aren't going your way. It's not about being perfect. It's about making progress. It's about making the choice to act every single day, no matter how you feel. So, stop negotiating. Stop debating with yourself. Stop finding reasons to avoid the work. The more you do it, the easier it gets. The more you commit to taking action, the more you'll see that hard work isn't hard at all. It's just the mental resistance that makes it feel that way. And once you get past that, once you decide that there's no turning back, hard work becomes a natural part of who you are. And that's when your success truly begins. Number 6, the more you delay, the harder it gets. Take control today. Every single day that you delay, every moment that you put off taking action, you're making it harder on yourself. It's like you're stacking up more and more weight on your shoulders. And every time you think, I'll start tomorrow or I'll get to it later, you're only making the task harder, the goal more distant, and the path more difficult. It might feel easier in the moment to delay, but what you're really doing is pushing your dreams further away, piling on excuses and convincing yourself that the future is the right time to start. But here's the truth. The more you delay, the harder it gets. And there's no better time to take control than right now. You know how it feels. You've had things you wanted to do, whether it's a project, a goal, or a dream, and you told yourself, I'll get to it later. It's like a little voice in your head telling you that it can wait, that it's not urgent, that you can always start tomorrow. And for a while, it might feel like that's okay. You might feel comfortable procrastinating because, hey, tomorrow is always there, right? But the longer you wait, the more your excuses pile up. You're not just delaying action, you're delaying the results you want. And the longer you wait, the harder it is to even begin. It gets harder because the task feels bigger and more overwhelming the longer you avoid it. And eventually, you'll look back and realize that those small delays have turned into huge obstacles standing in your way. When you delay, you create this mental block. You tell yourself that you'll do it when the time is right, when you're feeling more motivated, when you have the perfect plan. But here's the catch. There is never a perfect time. The perfect conditions don't exist. Waiting for everything to line up before you take action is a trap. It's a trick your mind plays on you to keep you comfortable, to keep you from stepping out of your comfort zone and making progress. The more you put things off, the more you start to doubt your own ability, the more overwhelmed you become, and the harder it gets to take that first step. I've seen it time and time again, and I'm sure you've experienced it too. The more you delay, the more you convince yourself that it's too late to start. You think you've missed your chance. You think that it's too hard to catch up. But that's not true. Truth is, every day you wait, you're adding unnecessary pressure on yourself. You're making the journey harder than it has to be. The longer you procrastinate, the more your self-doubt and fear grow. But when you finally take control and start right now, you'll find that the task, the goal, the dream isn't as difficult as you imagined. The hardest part is starting. Imagine you've been putting off a big project. You keep telling yourself that you'll get to it later, but the longer you wait, the more anxious you become. You keep thinking about everything that needs to be done, and it starts to feel overwhelming. But the moment you take that first step, the moment you start working on it, things become clearer. You realize it wasn't as big a mountain as you thought. And in that moment, you feel a sense of relief. You feel a shift because you've finally taken control, and the weight of procrastination starts to lift off your shoulders. What happens when you delay is that you're giving away your power. Every time you choose not to act, you give more of your time, your energy, and your mental space to the very thing you're avoiding. The more you delay, the more power that task has over you. You let the fear, the uncertainty, and the discomfort of doing something new take over your mind. You allow yourself to be controlled by excuses rather than taking control of your life and your future. But the moment you decide to stop delaying, the moment you make the conscious choice to take control today, everything starts to change. It doesn't matter how long you've been procrastinating or how far you feel you've fallen behind. What matters is the decision you make right now to move forward. The power is in your hands. The strength to start is already within you. And all it takes is the courage to act. Think about it. The longer you wait, the more you miss out on. The longer you delay, the less time you have to work toward your dreams. Every day you wait is a day you can't get back. And every day you spend waiting is one more day you let slip through your fingers. So ask yourself, what are you waiting for? What's stopping you from taking control today? The reality is, you'll never feel 100% ready to take on a big challenge. You'll never have everything figured out, and the conditions will never be perfect. But waiting for everything to align is just an excuse. The true power lies in starting with what you have, where you are, and trusting that the rest will come as you move forward. The key to success isn't in waiting for the right time, it's in making the right time. This isn't just about the big dreams and goals you have. This applies to everything in life. Whether you're trying to build a new habit, improve your health, or grow in your career, the more you delay, the harder it gets. You might think that taking a break for a few days won't matter, that one more day won't make a difference, but those small delays add up. They compound over time, and before you know it, you've lost momentum and the challenge seems insurmountable. But the more you act, the easier it becomes to keep going. The more you commit to taking control today, the more you build the habit of progress. You have the power to change your life, but only if you take control of your actions right now. Stop telling yourself that you'll get to it tomorrow. Stop thinking that you'll start once things settle down. Life doesn't slow down. Things don't magically fall into place. You have to make the decision to act, to move forward, and to take control of your journey no matter what. The more you delay, the more you stack up obstacles. But every time you make the decision to take action, no matter how small, you're tearing down those obstacles. You're moving forward, even if it's one step at a time. And over time, those small steps will add up to big results. The sooner you start, the sooner you'll see progress, and the sooner you'll feel the power of taking control. Don't wait for things to magically get easier. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The best time to start is right now. And the more you delay, the more you allow fear, doubt, and excuses to control you. So take control today. Stop waiting. Stop procrastinating. Stop allowing your dreams to slip further away. The power to change your life is in your hands, and it starts with the decision you make right now. Take that first step today, and everything else will follow. Number 7, track your progress. See how far you've come. There's a hidden power in tracking your progress, a secret weapon that can change everything about how you approach your goals. So many people are stuck focusing on where they want to be, dreaming about the end result, but never taking a step back to appreciate how far they've already come. The truth is, you're already further than you think, but unless you're keeping track, you'll never realize how much you've grown. The act of tracking is more than just about seeing numbers. It's about recognizing your own effort, your own transformation, and finding the fuel to keep pushing forward. When you're in the middle of a journey, it's easy to get lost in the grind. You might be waking up every day, doing what you can to move forward, but it feels like you're stuck, like nothing is changing. Maybe you're checking off tasks, crossing things off your to-do list, but it's hard to see the progress because it feels like you're still so far from the finish line. You look at your goals and wonder if you'll ever get there. But that's exactly why tracking your progress is so vital. It's the thing that shows you that even when it feels like you're not making huge strides, every single action is adding up. and in ways you might not even realize. When you track your progress, you create a map that shows you exactly how far you've come. You see the steps, the small victories, and the progress that might have slipped by unnoticed in the chaos of day-to-day life. When you look back at where you were a month ago, 6 months ago, or even a year ago, you'll be amazed at how much you've changed, how much you've grown. And this isn't just about numbers or milestones. It's about seeing the work you've put in, the struggles you've overcome, and the strength you've built along the way. We often forget how much we've actually achieved. We get so caught up in where we're going and the pressure to keep climbing that we lose sight of how far we've already traveled. This is why tracking is so crucial. It reminds you that you are already making progress. It gives you a visual representation of your hard work. It helps you realize that you're not starting from scratch every time you get up in the morning, and that every day is a step forward, no matter how small it may seem. Tracking is a way of celebrating your effort. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to do more, achieve more, be more. But we often forget to celebrate the journey. We think that the celebration only comes when we reach the destination, but in reality, the celebration should be happening every single day. When you track your progress, you get to pause and recognize the work that you've put in. Every task completed, every hurdle crossed, every lesson learned, it's all progress. And when you can see that progress, it's easier to keep going, even when it feels hard. What happens when you track your progress is that you start to see the results of your efforts. Instead of focusing on how much further you have to go, you begin to see how far you've already come. You begin to realize that the effort you've been putting in every day has been adding up to something bigger than you might have imagined. It's like looking at a picture and realizing that every little brushstroke was essential in creating the masterpiece. You start to understand that success isn't always about the big, obvious leaps forward. It's about those small, consistent steps that eventually lead to a place you never thought you'd reach. And here's the powerful part. When you track your progress, you start to build confidence. Confidence doesn't come from waiting for things to happen. It comes from seeing what you've already done. It comes from recognizing that you have the ability to make progress even when it feels slow. It comes from knowing that the work you put in today will pay off tomorrow. The more you track, the more you realize that you have the power to shape your own future. Every day that you track your progress is another day that you're reinforcing your belief in yourself and your ability to achieve your goals. The act of tracking isn't just about logging actions or marking off achievements. It's about creating a sense of momentum. When you see that you're moving forward, even if it's at a slower pace than you hoped, it gives you the energy to keep going. You begin to realize that progress is a journey, not a destination. It's the consistency, the daily commitment, the small actions that matter. And as you track your progress, you begin to see the bigger picture. You realize that success isn't about taking giant leaps. It's about taking consistent steps in the right direction. Tracking your progress also forces you to acknowledge your wins. In a world where we're constantly told to do more, be better, and achieve faster, it's easy to forget to celebrate. But celebrating your progress, no matter how small, is essential for maintaining motivation. When you see how far you've come, it reminds you that you're on the right path, that your efforts are not in vain. And this celebration doesn't have to be a big event. It could be as simple as acknowledging that you've stuck to a new habit for a week, or that you've made it through a difficult challenge. These small victories matter, and they deserve recognition. The best part about tracking is that it gives you clarity. You might think that you're not making any progress, but when you take a moment to look back at what you've done, you realize that you've actually accomplished a lot. It's not about comparing yourself to others or measuring your success based on external standards. It's about understanding your own journey, your own path, and the progress you've made. And when you see that progress, it fuels you to keep going. Tracking your progress is not just about the end goal. It's about recognizing that every step you take is part of the journey. Every task you complete, every lesson you learn, every challenge you face, it's all part of your story. When you take the time to track, you give yourself the gift of perspective. You remind yourself that every day is an opportunity to grow and that no matter how long it takes, you are always moving forward. When you start tracking your progress, you're creating a habit of reflection. You're teaching yourself to appreciate the work you're doing, even if it doesn't always feel like you're getting closer to your goal. You're reminding yourself that success isn't about instant gratification. It's about the long-term journey and the small steps that accumulate over time. And the more you track, the more you'll realize that those small steps are the foundation of your success. So take a moment today to reflect on how far you've come. You might be amazed at what you've already achieved. Keep tracking, keep moving forward, and watch as your progress becomes the fuel that powers your success. Number 8, end each day with reflection. Learn and prepare for tomorrow. There's an incredible power in taking a moment at the end of each day to reflect. It's one of the most overlooked tools that anyone can use to take control of their life. But here's the thing. The day isn't over when the clock strikes midnight. It's over when you've taken a step back, looked at what you've done, and used that reflection to prepare for the next day. You see, without reflection, you're running blind. You're pushing through life without realizing the lessons, the growth, and the opportunities that are right in front of you. You're missing out on what could be the simplest yet most effective tool for leveling up. Reflection is like a compass, guiding you through the journey, helping you adjust your course so you can go further, faster, and smarter. When you reflect on your day, you're essentially taking stock of everything that's happened, the good and the bad. Most people rush through life just trying to get to the next thing, but when you pause, when you actually take a moment to breathe and think, you begin to see things from a different perspective. You realize that even the challenges you faced, the things that didn't go as planned, are opportunities for growth. It's in those moments, in the quiet reflection, that you can learn more about yourself, your habits, your weaknesses, and your strengths. Every single day is filled with valuable information, and when you take the time to reflect, you're tapping into that knowledge. The more you reflect, the more you'll start to understand how your actions align with your goals and how you can adjust to make even better progress the next day. The act of reflection isn't just about looking back on what you did. It's about really understanding what worked, what didn't, and why. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle, to simply move from one task to another without ever considering the outcome. But when you take a step back and think about your day, you begin to notice the patterns. Maybe you were more productive in the morning, but by afternoon, your energy dropped. Maybe you felt motivated to start the day, but got distracted halfway through. Maybe you realized you could have handled a situation differently or approached a task more strategically. That's where the growth happens. That's where you gain the insight you need to improve, to get better, and to push forward with even more intention the next day. When you reflect on your day, it's like pressing pause on the chaos of life and giving yourself permission to breathe. Too often we let the day carry us away, and by the time we hit the pillow, we're just too exhausted to think. But when you make reflection a habit, you're intentionally carving out time to understand your actions, your decisions, and your impact. It's an opportunity to ask yourself, what did I do well today? What could I have done differently, and how can I be better tomorrow? Reflection doesn't need to be a long, drawn-out process. It can be a simple 5-minute check-in with yourself. But that small window of time is incredibly powerful. It's a moment where you can gain clarity, reset your mindset, and refocus on what matters. It's a chance to acknowledge the progress you've made, no matter how small, and remind yourself that every step forward counts. But here's the thing, reflection doesn't just help you understand your past actions. It also sets you up for success tomorrow. When you reflect on the day that's just passed, you're giving yourself the tools to be more intentional in the future. You're taking the lessons of today and applying them to tomorrow's plan of action. It's about looking ahead with a clearer perspective. When you know what worked, what didn't, and why, you're not just blindly stumbling through the next day. You're walking in with confidence and strategy. It's like having a map for your journey, a map that's constantly updated with the lessons of the day. Take a moment to think about this. What would happen if you ended every day by reviewing the day's wins and lessons? What if you took just 5 minutes before you go to sleep to reflect on what you did, what you learned, and how you can take those insights into tomorrow? That's how you start building momentum. That's how you stop going in circles and begin moving forward with purpose. You're not just reacting to the world around you, you're proactively shaping your future. And the more you do this, the easier it becomes to see your own growth. You start to notice patterns in your behavior, your routines, your decision-making, and you can adjust accordingly. You begin to move with intention instead of being carried by whatever life throws at you. You create a cycle of constant improvement. Reflection also gives you the chance to reset. Let's face it, not every day is going to be perfect. Some days will be tough. Some days will feel like you're taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. But reflection allows you to hit the reset button. It's a reminder that it's okay to have setbacks. The key is to learn from them and use those lessons to come back stronger the next day. When you take the time to reflect, you realize that every obstacle is just a stepping stone and no day is wasted. Even the hardest days have something valuable to teach you. So when you wake up tomorrow, you'll be better equipped to handle whatever comes your way because you've taken the time to reflect and prepare. Another powerful aspect of reflection is its ability to boost your confidence. It's easy to doubt yourself when things aren't going the way you want them to, but when you reflect, you can see the effort you've put in, you can see the progress you've made, and even on the toughest days, that reflection serves as a reminder that you're still moving forward. It builds your belief in yourself because you can look back and see the small victories, the growth, and the commitment you've shown. Every time you reflect, you're reinforcing the belief that you are capable of achieving your goals, no matter how big they seem. So make reflection a part of your daily routine. Set aside time at the end of each day to reflect on what you've done, what you've learned, and what you can do better tomorrow. Don't just rush through life waiting for things to happen. Take control of your journey. Take the time to understand what's working and what isn't. Use that knowledge to create a better tomorrow and get excited about the progress you'll make. Because the truth is, you're building something incredible. And it's in the reflection, in the quiet moments of self-assessment, that you begin to see the greatness that's already inside of you. So take a moment tonight, reflect, learn, and prepare. Your tomorrow is waiting for you. Number 9, no one cares about your excuses. Results are all that matter. Excuses are the silent killers of progress. They sneak into our minds, convincing us that we're justified in not taking action, in putting things off for one more day. We all know the story. We tell ourselves that we're tired, that we don't have enough time, that we'll start tomorrow. But here's the cold, hard truth. No one cares about your excuses. Not your boss, not your family, and certainly not the people who are out there achieving what you want to achieve. They've got their own battles to fight, and your excuses won't change the fact that they're out there getting results while you're sitting there telling yourself it's too hard. The only thing that matters is results. And the sooner you realize that, the sooner you can start taking responsibility for your own future. Excuses feel comfortable. They make you feel better about not taking action. They create a temporary sense of relief from the pressure to perform, but they're nothing more than distractions, ways to avoid the discomfort of pushing yourself beyond your limits. The thing about excuses is that they're easy. It's easy to say, I'm too tired today, or I don't have the skills yet. It's easy to put things off when the idea of taking action seems overwhelming, but every time you do that, you're letting another opportunity slip through your fingers. Time is precious, and every moment you waste making excuses is time you'll never get back. If you keep telling yourself that tomorrow is the day you'll start, tomorrow will never come. The best time to take action is now, right now. Think about the people you admire, the ones who are living the life you want to live, who have the success you dream of. I can guarantee you that they didn't get there by making excuses. They didn't sit around waiting for the perfect time or for everything to fall into place. They acted, they took risks, they worked when no one was watching, and guess what? That's what made the difference. They weren't any more talented or gifted than you are. The difference was that they stopped making excuses and started focusing on what mattered. Results. Results are the measure of your efforts. And in the end, that's all that anyone remembers. It doesn't matter if you had a good reason for not getting things done. People will remember the outcome, not your reasons. So if you want to be remembered for your success, start producing results now. Here's the thing, excuses are always going to be there. Life is hard. Things don't always go the way we want them to, but the key to success is not letting those challenges stop you. Instead of letting them be an excuse, turn them into motivation. When things are tough, that's when you need to show up the most. That's when you need to push yourself harder. Your success is on the other side of your excuses, and the longer you let them control you, the further you get from the results you want. It's time to stop waiting for the perfect conditions to take action. Life doesn't wait for you to be ready. Opportunities don't wait for you to feel like it's the right time. They come and go, and if you're not taking action, you're going to miss them. No one wants to hear about your excuses. No one cares that you're tired, that you have a lot on your plate, that you're struggling with something. All they see is what you're producing. They see the results you're putting out into the world. It's harsh, but it's the reality. When people look at you, they don't see your struggles, they see your accomplishments. And if you're not accomplishing anything, it's because you're too busy making excuses. The most successful people in the world didn't get there by feeling sorry for themselves. They got there by working hard, by putting in the effort, and by taking full responsibility for their actions. They didn't let anything hold them back, especially not their excuses. It's time to stop fooling yourself. Your excuses are holding you back, and the only thing stopping you from getting the results you want is you. You have everything you need to succeed, but if you keep making excuses, you're going to keep getting the same results you've always gotten. Think about it. If you want something different, you have to do something different. You can't keep saying, I'll try tomorrow, or I don't have the time. If you want to achieve your goals, you need to take action today. Every single day. You delay is a day you're not getting closer to your dreams. Every excuse you make is another step away from success. It's not enough to just want something. Wanting something is the easy part. We all want success. We all want to achieve our goals, but the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is in the actions they take. It's in the consistency, the dedication, the willingness to keep going when things get hard. It's in the results. No one cares about your excuses. They don't care about your why or your reasons. They care about the work you're doing and the results you're getting. So stop talking about what you're going to do and start showing it. The world doesn't need more people talking about their dreams. The world needs people who are willing to work for them. The truth is, no one owes you anything. You don't deserve success just because you want it. You earn success by taking massive action, by pushing through the difficult moments, and by refusing to give up when it gets tough. You don't get rewarded for making excuses. You get rewarded for getting results. So ask yourself, what are you willing to do to get what you want? Are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to sacrifice the comfort of your excuses for the reward of success? Because here's the thing, no one cares about your excuses. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is whether you delivered. The world judges you by your results, not your excuses. So stop waiting, stop making excuses, and start acting. The sooner you do, the sooner you'll see the results you've been dreaming of. Number 10, success is not luck. It's the sum of small daily wins. Success isn't a matter of chance, luck, or destiny. It's the result of small, consistent actions taken day after day. You see, most people think success is something that happens in one big moment. Maybe they'll get lucky and a breakthrough will change everything. But that's not how it works. Success is earned, not handed out by fate. It's the accumulation of small daily wins that over time build up to something massive. And the beautiful part, these small wins aren't out of reach. They're within your control right now. You're one small action away from taking another step forward, from inching closer to the life you want. Here's where most people go wrong. They're waiting for that big break. They think success will come when the stars align or when they finally reach that magical moment when everything is just right. But the truth is, success isn't a huge leap from nothing to everything. It's a steady climb, one step at a time. Every single small win, whether it's getting up on time, making one extra phone call, finishing one more task, or learning a new skill, builds the foundation for bigger achievements down the road. You don't have to take giant leaps every day. What matters is that you show up consistently, that you do something, anything, that moves you forward. Most of us overcomplicate the idea of success. We think it requires some extraordinary feat, something that will make headlines and change our lives in one big bang. But that's not reality. Reality is about getting up each day and doing the work. Reality is about making a series of small, often unnoticed decisions that over time lead to major transformations. It's about having the patience to trust the process. It's about not getting discouraged when you don't see immediate results, because you understand that growth takes time. Success is the sum of these small, daily victories that add up in ways you can't always see in the moment. Let's take a moment to look at some of the most successful people in the world. Do you think they achieved their success through a stroke of luck? No, they achieved it through the daily grind, the little things that no one sees. It wasn't the flashy moments or the overnight successes. It was the consistency, the quiet moments of effort when no one was watching. They showed up every day, no matter how they felt, no matter the obstacles in their way. And that's why they're where they are today. Every time they made a choice to keep going, no matter how small that choice was, they got closer to their goal. If you're looking for a shortcut to success, you're looking in the wrong place. The shortcut is in the small, seemingly insignificant steps you take every single day. It's in the moment you decide not to hit snooze on the alarm, in the time you choose to make that extra effort, in the decision to keep going when you feel like quitting. These are the moments that add up, that create momentum. And here's the kicker. It's the people who do this day after day who eventually look back and realize just how far they've come. They didn't take huge risks. They simply kept making progress, no matter how small. And over time, that progress snowballed into something far bigger than they ever imagined. Here's the thing. You have the power to decide. You have the ability to take action, even if it's just one small step at a time. You don't have to wait for the perfect opportunity or the perfect circumstances. You don't have to wait for everything to fall into place. All you need is the willingness to show up even when you don't feel like it, even when the road seems long and hard. Because those small wins, those consistent efforts, they matter. They may not make a splash today, but they will tomorrow. They will in a week. They will in a year. Now, I know it's easy to feel frustrated when you don't see immediate results. You might feel like you're putting in all this work and getting nowhere. But understand this, results take time. You can't rush the process, but you can trust it. Success doesn't come overnight. It's the sum of everything you do, every decision you make, every effort you put in. And guess what? The more you focus on these small wins, the more confidence you'll gain. With each small success, you'll build momentum. You'll start to realize that even though the progress might feel slow, it's always moving forward. And that's what matters. When you focus on the process, on the daily grind, you stop obsessing over the outcome. You stop measuring your success against someone else's timeline. And that's when you start making real progress. It's easy to get discouraged when you compare yourself to others. Social media is full of people showing off their achievements, their big wins, their glamorous lives. But that's not the full story. You don't see the effort behind the scenes, the setbacks they've faced, the small daily wins that got them to where they are. You're only seeing the highlight reel. And if you spend all your time measuring your progress against theirs, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. But when you focus on your own journey, on the small steps you're taking today, you'll find that success becomes a natural byproduct of your consistent effort. This is why the small daily wins matter. They are the building blocks of the future you want to create. Every action you take, no matter how small, is an investment in your success. It's a seed you're planting that will one day grow into something bigger. And with each passing day, you're getting closer to your goals. So don't get caught up in the idea that success is something that happens all at once. Success is a long-term game. And the best way to win is by showing up, doing the work, and celebrating those small victories along the way. The key is to understand that success isn't just one big event. It's a series of small wins strung together over time. And those small wins, though they might seem insignificant in the moment, add up to something far greater than you could ever imagine. So stop waiting for the big breakthrough. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Just show up, do the work, and keep building those small wins. The more you focus on these daily victories, the closer you'll get to the success you've been dreaming of. It's not luck, it's the sum of small daily wins, and it's all within your control. So go out there and start stacking those wins, one day at a time. You're building your success one small action at a time. And that's the secret to achieving everything you've ever wanted. Your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. Think about that. Every single day you have a choice. You can either take action and move forward, or you can wait and stay exactly where you are. And here's the truth. Waiting does nothing. Excuses change nothing. The only thing that matters is what you do. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need the perfect plan. What you need is to start, to take that first step, and then another and another, because progress isn't made in one big leap. It's built through small, consistent actions that add up over time. That's how success happens. So from this moment forward, stop waiting for the right time. Stop making excuses. Stop telling yourself that you'll do it later. Later is a lie. Later keeps you stuck. Later is the reason so many people never reach their potential. But that's not going to be you, because now you know better. Now you understand that success is built daily, that every choice you make, every action you take is either bringing you closer to your goals or keeping you from them. So take control, start today, do something, anything that moves you forward, and keep going. Because in the end, it won't be luck or talent that makes the difference. It will be your daily commitment to progress. Now, go out there and make it happen. No more waiting, no more excuses. Your future starts now. Later is a lie. Later keeps you stuck. Later is the reason so many people never reach their potential. But that's not going to be you, because now you know better. Now you understand that success is built daily. That every choice you make, every action you take is either bringing you closer to your goals or keeping you from them. So take control. Start today. Do something, anything that moves you forward, and keep going. Because in the end, it won't be luck or talent that makes the difference. It will be your daily commitment to progress. Now go out there and make it happen. No more waiting, no more excuses. Your future starts now.